Hello, 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 everyone. We are a couple minutes early. I am functioning on little to no sleep. I watched this finale, which, surprise, it was the finale. Who knew? I watched it in bed with my earphones in. I attempted to get my 6-month-old to sleep in his own room last night. That didn't happen. So it was like a family group effort. We were watching the show. Amanda, what were your overall thoughts?
I can't fight it. What I really want to say, I can't. No, please don't do this. That's what I want to say. Please, I'm sorry. I need to take a walk. I'm sorry. I have to.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. That was not an act. It was a performance, by the way.
Oh, thank you for it's so funny because I commented on what in our Facebook group, someone was saying like the act and performance is the same thing. And I was like, that's when you know you've lost the argument. It's like when you start correcting someone on their like, it's if you're correcting grammar, you've lost the plot.
Yeah, you'll take anything to not admit that you're wrong, which is like Cody's personality.
But I like the overall theme of that conversation. I was like, I cannot believe I was so uncomfortable, and yet I could not peel my eyes away. I wanted it to go on longer. I made a new intro.
Oh, I'm excited.
So give me just a sec.
Okay. What's up, chat? Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you guys in 19 seconds.
So is now a good time to drop a bomb?
It feels like such a public venue to be talking about this, so I'm just feeling a little awkward.
That is why I left first, is because I wanted to win.
I'll just go for a walk.
Why can't we get on the page where we're making about where we are instead of what I say?
I'll just go for a walk.
Grammar is important, Cheryl. I agree. But yeah, I was laughing. Like I was tickled by Robin's discomfort. And I was like, I don't know what that says about me as a person.
Well, I think for me, everything leading up to, I'm like going crazy like you two. I'm like trying to remember. She walks after she takes the walk and then she comes back. Anyways, I was just like hating her by the time she did the walk. And so I was the same way. I was like, you stupid,
Well, she's trying so hard to prevent this official breakup from happening.
Yes. Literally telling Cody, stop talking.
Yeah. And Cody and Robin were like, or Cody and Mary were like, shut up. Like, let us talk. And then she's like, I'm just gonna go for a walk. I was not expecting that. We saw in the previews her crying and of course making it all about her, but I was not expecting her to like literally be like, we will have family members this Thanksgiving get up from the dinner table and take a walk when the conversation turns to political, religious, what have you. Like if it gets too controversial, Aunt whoever is gonna get up from the table and take a walk.
And I love that, like, going into this episode, there's a lot of different surprises. First of all, really shocking. I think some people in the comments were talking about this earlier. Really shocking that her audience for her big trailer moment where she's like, I wanted to sit on a porch. There's no audience. She's talking to nobody. Cody and Mary have left. And instead, I actually think her big moment of the episode was the getting up and walking away. Like that was her big moment.
And then she's, oh my God, with the sunglasses and she's walking around the pond. And it seemed like she walked pretty far. It seemed like she was going for a good walk. I loved that yet again, Cody and Robin arrive separately. Yeah. Cody arrives on his 4-wheeler because that's how much of a man he is. And Robin, you know, has to, as if they didn't come from literally 100 feet away. I've seen people post that Robin's house is like sits and overlooks Coyote Pass. It's like right there. So they're not traveling far, and yet they travel separate.
Yeah, it's like they're so used to trying to disguise their relationship. But it's like, oh no, Cody has like really fully admitted this season that like it's it. Robin's his favorite. So just stop with the ruse. You know, take a little stroll over together hand in hand. Stop trying to pretend, you know, you guys are, she's like a piece of the pie. She is the whole pie at this point.
The only purpose that Robin had was to not have Mary cut off the funds, because Mary reveals we knew that for the majority of this family's time there was a communal bank account, and Robin has never put into the bank account, but she sure does take from it. Mary is saying in this confessional that she has still been financially contributing.
That is another like bomb to me in this episode that, you know, I don't know why, but I had definitely thought, okay, Mary and Cody haven't been living as wife and husband as they both admit for so long. Like, surely she's not still just like paying for Robin's printed art collection, but like, no, she is.
Right. What was I just watching? I was watching something and the guy was buying crystals, and we see in Mary's house or in Robin's house, she has those like huge crystals. Those are like hundreds, if not could be like $1,000. This woman's aesthetic is horrific, but it is not cheap. It is like, wow.
Yeah. I just it's shocking that Mary is paying for Robin's aesthetic, the crystals, everything. I am with the comments. I am just still in shock.
There is a lively debate going on that about if it is a pond, it is a cesspool, or a water runoff. Apparently, it's supposed to fill with water, I think, so that the land doesn't flood. I don't know.
That was my understanding too. And also, you know, make sure you don't get that prairie dog virus or whatever it is.
Yeah. Avery, welcome to the Realitinis. I love you both so much. Love these dual lives. Much love to you both. Thank you, Wanderlust. And just so you guys know, if you send a super chat, Amanda and I are going to be splitting those. So
yes, thank you for the super, Wanderlust.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You are supporting us both. It is, oh wait, hold on. It's a sewer runoff, perfect pool for Kotex. I also saw when they swam in it, people who have like construction knowledge were talking about how like unsanitary that was to swim in. And he has all of his, like, the one thing, the last memory we have of Cody with all of his kids, how fitting. It's swimming in.
How dare you remind us, Sarah, of the
Oh,
didn't we get tortured enough in the episode? They love replaying that clip.
Here's the thing. Cody, as a 50-year-old man, this is going to maybe be a hot take. I don't think he's bad looking, and he's pretty fit. But he thinks he is way above where he's at, and that's the issue. Like,
yeah, I'm not an expert in the man attractiveness department, but I have to admit, like, he is in shape in that shot. You know, I don't know about a six pack, but at that point in filming, like, yeah, he was like doing some lifting of the weights. And his early days, I think I told you this last week, his early days photos, like, he was a looker.
Yeah. And they had to blur his nether regions, which, I mean, I don't think a man ever hates. Like,
oh, my eyes.
What a compliment, right? I'll have to ask my husband. Like, if you were in your underwear and they had to blur your nether regions, is that like, a compliment? Is that
Oh my God. Oh, yes, I guess.
I don't know. That's just what I'm that's just what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
I'm with Tracy in the chat. I'm like, ugh.
I'm trying to find sorry, you guys. I am yuck.
Para woman. Maybe he just has big cock. Either way, it's disturbing.
It is so his personality makes him gross. Period. That at the end of the day, it's like if you know, let people tell you. If you have to proclaim it to the world, that really does take away 90%. And I think women looks are one thing, but women are attracted to so much more than looks, you know? It's so
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I think like in the parts of the book where they talk about how he is considered early on like the popular guy in the church or in the community, it's not surprising because early in the show he is pretty charismatic and somewhat confident, and the wives are all pretty shy in episode 1, but Cody's like full bore ahead. He's like, I'm doing this. I am doing this. So yeah, it is about more. He's lost it though. Yeah, for sure. Not attractive.
it's a shameful thing to admit, but for the first probably 4 seasons, I liked Cody. I thought he yeah.
Oh, this is some hot take you're dropping here.
Yeah, and I think around probably season 6-ish, but definitely around the adoption, I started to be like, okay, this guy is like gone from thinking he's the funniest man in the room, like clearly likes attention, to something a lot darker. But yeah, those early seasons, I'm like, like, so what? Like, to each their own, however they want to live their life. Cody seems like a great guy. He seems like a great dad. And the wives, and this is the problem, the wives were sitting there spewing all of that to us. Cody's the best dad. When you're with him, you feel like you're the only one in the room, blah, 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 even though he has literally 3 other of you sitting right there. So
Yeah, I mean, he's got Nicole in the chat thinking like, oh yeah, polygamy. I might try that out myself. Like, you're not the only one. Everybody was, thinking more highly of him early on. Since I didn't watch like when the season aired, I'm probably not I was like biased, I think, because I must have already known like how the fans felt about him, even when I was watching season 1. I do like, what did you think? You still liked him, even though the whole like, I got a bomb to drop, I picked out the dress with Robin. Do we make too much of that?
No, see, you know what? And I'm trying to think back. See, so the way my sister wife's journey happened is I was really a loyal viewer, maybe not like the loyalist viewer in those early seasons. And then probably around like seasons 4 or 5, I became a very infrequent watcher. But then when the catfishing happened, I like jumped right back into it. And then I kind of fell off again. Sister Wives is a slow burn. So people that have like watched every episode, they've like put in the work. But in those early days, there was like, the family wasn't all over social media. You had no idea where in their lives this footage was shot. It could have been filmed 10 years ago for all we know. It's not like we could say, oh, look, on so-and-so's Instagram, we see their pictures. So this was clearly from, September of X years. So we know that this footage is 18 months old. There was no like over analyzing the footage. So you really just took things at face value. And I think when the catfishing incident happened, it really rocked a lot for a lot of people, at least for me, the perception that this family, like clearly the image that this family was putting on TV was not the real deal, as they say. It was just very much the picture that Cody wanted them to portray to the world. It's always been about Robin. And something in this, and I wanted to get your opinion on, that I found very interesting is when Mary talks in this finale about their first anniversary in Flagstaff and how Cody says, like, cheers to new beginnings and whatever. And Cody tries to make it seem like maybe she misinterpreted that. They literally just, Robin and Cody, in my opinion, lured the rest of the family to Flagstaff to keep the funds coming so that they could do what they wanted. And so Cody had to say, hey, cheers to new beginnings. So Mary wouldn't be like, why am I even moving to Flagstaff?
Do you think they lured them there? Sorry, I'm supposed to be answering that. But like,
No,
do you mean they lured them there? Like, what would the purpose be for Dayton's college?
That's the kind of general consensus, is that Dayton got into college at NAU, and that's Robin has trouble. Peyton has commented that Robin has trouble cutting the cord. And Gwen has also said that she very much thinks that they moved because of Dayton. I don't know if it was necessarily because of Dayton, but I think that Robin and Cody had this dream or this plan, and they put things in motion to execute. I think that they are both very sinister, and Robin proved herself to be far more manipulative in my opinion. She is not, Cody's not one to be run by one of his wives. He absolutely is. And we saw that in this episode.
I mean, yeah, she was telling him what to say, what not to say, when to speak, when not to speak. And by the way, I do agree with you, Sarah, that yes, I do think him and Robin have been manipulative towards the other wives. I think for the purpose consciously of like keeping the funds.
Yeah. Why? It's truly wild. And it's so, I feel I kind of got the hint. How do you think in the preview for the tell-alls, we see that they're going to introduce David during one segment of the tell? What are your thoughts on that being the first introduction of David to the
lame? I feel like, I don't know if they're trying to save the season because they struggled so much with having real content. It's just, even the like scenes are just talking heads. Even the stuff with, like, for instance, the stuff in this episode with with Christine's brothers, they're all just talking heads. You know, it's even they go on a hike, but then they stop the hike and they have talking heads. And so I wonder if they just needed to have David come in and they were just too cheap to produce a episode of introducing David. Like, it's cheap.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, spoiler alert. Not that we don't know, but like we're still pretending like McKelty hasn't had her kids at this point. But we're going to let that cat out of the bag. But I just thought that was interesting. There's going to be 4 installments of this tell-all.
Seriously? 4?
Yeah. So the last 2 years, it's been 3. And last year was, season 16's tell-alls were really not really interesting, but they held my attention because that was Christine had announced she was leaving Cody. They were talking about being divorced, and Cody was like super pissed. So it was like, ooh, last year's with Cody's the only thing Cody was focused on was running with this narrative that he was considering reconciling with Mary, and Christine bulldozed that. It was so irritating to have to watch that for 3 episodes. And now they've added another installment. So I'm hoping I'm the eternal optimist. I'm going to hope that they have some hot goss and that it's at least one of these episodes is going to be like, ooh.
One of the tell-alls. I mean, yeah, somebody in the chat said like, oh, maybe David is supposed to be a rebuttal to all the horrible things Cody has been saying and Robin has been saying about Christine.
Oh, that's a good point, because Robin, we see her go like, thanks Christine or something in the preview. And I was like, oh shit. She is.
Robin hates Christine so much for doing exactly what Robin did. Like, it's mind-boggling. She hates Christine as much as the fan base hates her.
And maybe that's why. Maybe it's because objectively, and sorry, Kikalika, we will get to your question in just a moment, but objectively, nobody in the adults has clean hands. We go Queen Christine, we go Queen Janelle, and I will get comments when I make videos and I'm, less than like super complimentary of Janelle or Christine. I'll receive some flack, not a whole bunch, but some people will, call me out, and that's fine. But I mean, objectively, none of the adults did right by their kids, in my opinion. And none of the adults were super just, all about polygamy and the unity and not a selfish bone in their body. None of them can say that, in my opinion. But now it's like Robin and Cody are so awful that it's hard to, and that's what we see with Janelle and Christine. Like, I think Cody's right. They've united against a common enemy, and that has brought them closer together.
But I also thought when we got that scene of him, I also thought he's purposefully not acknowledging their bond from Christine raising Janelle's kids, because he just can't acknowledge anything nice about them. Whereas whether it's them putting on a front or not, like Janelle and Christine will acknowledge like, oh, Christine has said multiple times Robin came in and made things better. She had Cody's ear. We were able to be like a little bit more normal with the holidays and stuff. Janelle used to talk all the time about how great Cody was with her boys. So they can do what Cody and Robin cannot.
And that is be objective.
Yes.
Yeah. I do think some people have gotten annoyed with Christine being a little too giggly and laughy in her confessionals this season. And I can acknowledge it. It's a tad put on from the way I'm receiving it, but
everyone should get a divorce. Divorce for you, divorce for you, divorce for everyone.
Oh yeah. Are you fighting with your significant other? Divorce. Break up.
End it.
It's
the best thing ever. Pack your car. Leave the house. Don't even tell them.
Yeah. What I'm so interested, if this is a hint at where the show is going to pivot for Christine, if her family participates in filming, that is a big deal, because her family is the founding family of the cult, for lack of high control group that they were a part of. And if it didn't seem like her brothers were on board with polygamy, they seemed like they agreed with all of the criticisms that she had of polygamy. So it will be really interesting to me to see more of like life after polygamy for not just Christine, but for such an important family in that group.
I mean, a lot of the fan base, a lot of the talk now, since obviously there's no polygamy left with this family, is like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are they still going to call it Sister Wives? Are they still going to film everyone? Are they just going to film, the OG wives? Are they going to stop filming Cody and Robin? Cody and Robin have given us nothing but confessionals, in my opinion, for like
Nothing.
years.
And we don't see, like, we saw Janelle and Christine go on a vacation. Now, is it the type of vacation I would probably take? I don't know. But they were at least doing something. We don't see a day in the life of Cody and Robin. These two are together all the time. We see Cody putting a car in a U-Haul with his friend, but we don't see like a dinner with Cody and Robin. Show us how perfect and loyal you guys are to each other.
I mean, I'm sure they don't want to. They're purposefully hiding their relationship. Which is so interesting because we all already know what their relationship is like. We have these scenes of like, construction Bob breaking everybody's relationship down several seasons ago. And he's like, okay, he's, happy, he's fun with Christine. He's blah, blah, blah. Janelle's like his buddy. Robin and him, they're like actually in love. Like that was what I took from that.
Yeah.
So we already know. I don't know why they keep trying to hide it, but
yeah, like when the anthropology students came in and were like, their boss or their teacher was like, tell me who's like the love wife, who's like the boss wife or whatever. And yeah, all of those are Robin. Robin is all of the whatever wife. And the other wives are just the wallet wives. I'd like to know why Cody and Robin's McMansion on 4 acres is never brought up as an asset. Good point. It's got to be worth more than Coyote Dirt Pile. So I think in total, if you add up all 4 lots, what they paid in 2018 was like $800,000, and Robin's house is worth over $1 million at this point. So they're very comparable, but yeah, why isn't her house talked about as something she can leave her children?
Yeah, I'll never understand why some stuff is allowed to be talked about, some isn't. I mean, Cody doesn't want anybody talking about anything because everything makes him look bad. But I'm like, why don't we have Janelle and Mary mentioning Robin's house? I don't know why.
I think next season we're going to see a lot more of Mary and Janelle being a lot more how Chrissy, maybe not so giggly, but a lot more Cody sucks and this is how it really has been, and telling us.
I freaking hope so. Mary was such a softie at the picnic table. Like, if I'm putting myself in Mary's shoes, I'm crawling across that table and I'm like, how dare you say this? I mean, I don't just say no to violence, but
Well, yeah. But I mean, so I'm kind of the opposite. I will talk a big game. I'll be like, man, F that guy. Oh man, what an asshole. And then like I'll be in front of their face and I'm like, well, yeah, so that was like really uncool what you did.
I'm sorry for bringing this up, but like, I'm sorry. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but
yeah, like maybe could you not like Cody desperately wanted to continue the show for money. Absolutely. When he was saying, I can fake being in love with Mary for whatever is the show.
Yeah, I agree. And also that blew me out of the water. That was another thing that blew me away, was like him being like, he was so nonchalant. Oh yeah, I mean, I have been faking it. And then Mary just simultaneously like, not very well. You're not doing a very good job.
When we're talking about this act versus performance, like, well, whatever you are, you're terrible at it, because the only person you were fooling was Mary. And that's because you just were never around her. There were significant time jumps this season, because I was really confused for a second where in episode 13, where we saw the preview for last night's episode and Mary is saying that she's not renewing her lease. I'm like, well, wait a second. Literally, one of the last episodes was Mary telling Robin that she was renewing her lease. but like come to find out there was like 6 months between those conversations that we didn't see because obviously no one's filming together.
Yeah, and this is a failure on the show's part. I mean, I always dog on them, but like do a better job of weaving it together in a cohesive way so that it's interesting and entertaining. We're not have the fan base constantly having to play detective like, "Oh, this is why this made no sense."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which sister wife would either of you want to be in a celestial marriage with? Mine is Christine. For me, 100% Janelle.
That's who I was thinking about.
Janelle. Janelle would, I don't know if there's taxes in heaven, but she would 100% do my taxes. She wouldn't like, I'm not that easy of a person to live with. I can't imagine, but I feel like Janelle would let a lot of things go. Like if I left a sink full of dishes, I don't think that would bother Janelle.
Yeah, you could leave him for a year. She'd be like, "Oh, I didn't even notice."
Yeah. So I'm going Janelle. Who are you?
No, I'm too much of a romantic. I need to be with somebody who looks at me, even celestially, as more than just, "Oh yeah, I guess whatever, anything will do as long as I don't have to raise my kids." Like, no, I would have to take. I want to say Mary, but I'm too afraid. Of course, like I can't do that, so I got to go Christine. She would be a lot of work, but you know what? Sometimes it's worth it.
You know what? I think the reason why I wouldn't pick Christine is because I am a Christine and it's like crazy recognizes crazy and like we can't be both competing for like the princess spot. Christine is 100% I think Cody says that in a degrading way and that's not cool, but she very much is all about like the fairy tale. She honeymooned at Disneyland. Like she stays trying to keep that fantasy and that romance going. And good on her. Good on her. And David plays that part for her. He is her knight in shining armor. And I love that for them.
Yeah, I could be the David. Yeah, I could see that. So, but you're totally right. That's such a great point. Like I love Christine, but yes, she was never cut out for polygamy. She wants, like you said, she wants the fairy tale. Absolutely.
Well, so someone made a good point that I saw that. So in their group, the principal requires at least 3 wives in order to reach the highest level of the celestial kingdom. So when Christine was telling us that she came in wanting to be a 3rd wife, what she was really saying was she wanted to be the last wife. And I've seen there's a couple like polygamy YouTubers, like Growing Up Polygamy and Amanda Ray, and there's some other creators who talk about their time in like polygamy groups, and all of them have said that there is a hierarchy with the wives, and a lot of times either the first wife or the last wife are the favorites. And I think the thing that really irritates me with Cody is that he is completely trying to rewrite history now. We see with the preview for the next time on, Suki asks him, "Were you ever in love with Mary?" And he said, like, "I like pretended to be," or something.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who has watched those early seasons, there was definitely like love and affection between him and Mary.
I agree. And we've all seen him do the knife to the kidney scene. So we know what he looks like when he's acting. And I think he genuinely had love for Mary. I agree with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there were times where I think there are different times where I think Christine might have been the favorite wife. I think Christine came in and really leveled the playing field, kind of was that buffer between Janelle and Mary. And I think that drew a lot of respect and admiration from Cody. And Janelle has just never been work. It's never been hard to be with Janelle. And so that has been really attractive for Cody. Janelle has required literally nothing from him. And he couldn't even get that right.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that he has put any effort at all, he hasn't. Look, because like you said, he would have been able to keep Janelle. She, all she needed was like, okay, I'll try with the boys, or like the bare minimum. He can't do that. His pride won't let him.
He's not even worth breaking up with for Janelle. Janelle's like just letting it fizzle on its own. He's like, I don't know where we stand. And Janelle's like, I don't know. Like, it's just not even worth my time. Like, I guess we're still married. Whatever. Like,
it's his karma. She's pulling a Cody how he is with Mary. He just goes on the show and he's like, she's nothing to me. Like, Janelle's the same way with Cody. She's like, I don't know what to do, but I don't care. I couldn't care less about him. We're done. Never going to happen.
Is there a future of Sister Wives with Cody and Robin in it? Thank you, ladies. These are more fun than the show. What do you think?
Is there a future of Sister Wives with? Yes. I think, it is going to be hard. They're the villains of the show. The show is more boring than ever. Take them away, and what is it going to be? Like, I love Christine. I love Janelle. I'm rooting for Mary to figure it out finally. Love the kids, but nothing. The interesting storylines are like either not wanting to be talked about. I just can't imagine it without them.
I can't either. But here's the thing. We can talk about them in the abstract because we saw Christine and Janelle doing that. Like, they weren't there or present for the conversation she was having with her brothers. And I was like interested in what she had to say. If Cody and Robin give us nothing and all they ever are doing are Cody going off and, I don't know, like selling cars to his friend or taking Aurora to get her ears pierced, like that is going to lose viewer interest really quickly. We need to see him and Robin being the star-crossed lovers of Flagstaff. Show me your Romeo and Juliet love story, or I just don't believe you.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because I'm a fan of competitive reality TV, and I know how terrible a season without villains is. And so, yeah, I agree with you. They're not doing anything, but also that's just also on the show, like production, like make them do something, like you said.
And now I have hope, and I'm remaining optimistic that we are rising out of the self-filming era of Sister Wives where everything was on their phones and they were refusing to let people into their homes or production didn't want to go in there or whatever. And now there's some production value back into the show that I'm hoping that breathes a little bit of life into these scenes. The confessionals though, I don't want a bunch of flashbacks. If we're going to have a bunch of flashbacks, make the season 10 episodes, because we definitely had like at least 4 episodes of mostly filler and flashback. I don't think any viewer, like a bunch of us rewatched the series as background noise. We don't need like a compilation episode.
That would be tragic. Oh my goodness. No, I was thinking this afternoon, like, how is it possible that they fumbled this so bad? The seasons with the wives leaving are some of the most boring seasons on the show. Like when I compare it to some of these other seasons, and I'm just like, you can't blame it all on the pandemic. This is just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, Mary and Christine are at least giving us some drama and some fireworks. Janelle,
That's her version of fireworks. Is
she knows
an eyebrow raise.
what is Robin's criteria for getting divorced. And if it ever comes to that where she's interested, she'll let Cody know. If she finds another family to marry into, because she wants to still do polygamy, which is mind-boggling to me.
Something's going on with like Janelle and her mom both doing that. Something is going on in their heads. I don't know what it is.
Did anyone else notice that diamond on Robin's hand? It's on her middle right finger when talking to Mary, but her left ring finger on the telnet thing. I did notice she had a pretty substantial blingy ring, and they both have these David Yurman horse rings. And I've seen other people on Reddit post she has like Tiffany's jewelry. Like, yeah, Robin spends money. Like it's
She
going
does.
out of style.
She's had several sugar mamas for, over a decade now. So as one does, you got to buy the bling bling when you've got your sister wives paying the bills.
Yeah. I mean, McKelty, see, you know what's so funny about McKelty on Patreon? She will go so hard to defend her dad and Robin, but sometimes I think she inadvertently like exposes them. And one of the things was that she confirmed that Robin has those expensive art pieces, that those are whatever the artists are, like renderings of his paintings. And she says that her dad thinks that they're an investment. So they're trying to spend the money, because if it's sitting in my opinion, if it's sitting in a bank account, people could come in, the wives can come in and say, okay, let's divide this up. But if it's Robin's stuff, well, you're not going to take Robin's stuff out of her house, are you? Meanwhile, Mary's house is decorated with all of the same stuff that was filling her walls in her Las Vegas house.
Yeah, they're playing a lovely little game of hide the assets. They can see the writing on the wall, and yeah, it was infuriating for me watching Robin and like make the joke about, oh, maybe Cody will leave me too, and then go off about her fourth and how, the financial stuff was just infuriating.
I just saw this. Mary would have been happier with that banana. Tragically delicious. That is so fit. What a fitting username for that comment.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone noticed how Cody is now blaming Robin for why he treats his wives badly. She'll leave him if he doesn't fake it. For a guy who loves patriarchy, he's literally not. Yeah, now it's Robin's fault that he has to pretend to be married to Mary, because Robin will lose respect for him, and Robin is trying to keep all of his relationships together against his better wishes.
It's so immature, and he's like so exposing himself as the ultimate douche. Like, oh man, it's so many layers of a-holery. I keep saying this. I'm blown away by Cody this episode and Robin, and their chutzpah.
Oh, the lady balls on Robin is something to behold. I mean, for her to sit there, and it's like, do you still think, because we know that they know that we watch that we see the episodes, they know what we're seeing, yet they still sit there and think that they can paint a totally different story and that we'll buy it. Because Robin is sitting there saying she doesn't want to just always be lumped in with Cody, like whatever Cody gets, she gets. But in my opinion, first of all, you're the legal wife, so anything Cody gets is 50% yours anyways, and I think that should be taken into consideration. And you are where Cody is spending his time. You guys share a home.
Yeah, they're clearly in a monogamous relationship, and he's not with any of the other women. And it's not, I feel like they're stealing from the other wives. They're stealing from the family. It's just, and then they say whatever they can to, and I think like they're so disliked partly because they won't admit it. And like you said, we watched them. I feel like I'm saying the same thing all the time because I'm like, in my videos, because I'm like, wait a sec, we watched you become the legal wife. What are you talking about? You are legally entitled to 50% of your children, or whoever you want to leave it to will be entitled because you legally are married. Like, there's nothing in my head that thinks they did a prenup.
No. And what Mary is hinting at, and I love this for her if she follows through with it, is Mary seems like she is going to start holding their feet to the fire as to what she is entitled to and not what they think she is worthy of. Like, I contributed to, they're talking about Mary not wanting to share resources. She is literally funding your lifestyle. What are you talking about?
Okay, I've seen some articles. Is it true that she's like suing them? Or is that just like fluff I've seen?
Nothing that I've seen.
Okay. It could have been just like wild speculation then.
There's definitely like on any given day, there's some wild, more tabloidy type articles. But honestly, there's always a hint of truth in those articles. So I wouldn't.
Well, if you didn't see
if there aren't murmurings, then we might see that. If we saw, like, someone said they want to see like a lawsuit happen over Coyote Pass and it be featured on like Court TV or whatever, that would be
amazing.
Chef's kiss. I would love to see it.
Yes.
Casey says, I would pay good money to watch the OG3 drag Cody and Robin into here we go. A televised civil suit. They need to get over their issues and unite. Yes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We saw that with Janelle, though, in this episode. She came to Mary's defense, and they do not like each other.
Yes. I think at least Janelle and Mary are maybe looking a little bit at the bigger picture. Sorry, I just saw the comment you put on the screen. I was like, Robin's stuffing. Oh, wait, no, I misread that. I was like,
it's Thanksgiving time, stuffing.
Yeah, I got turkey on the brain. I got Rice Krispie turkey on the brain.
That was, oh my gosh, Mary with her sass this season. If I'm reflecting back, seeing Mary come out of her shell and just kind of be more sassy and snarky in her confessionals was a highlight for me.
Mary has had an upturn, I think. She's looking better than ever, in my opinion. She's really like kind of figured out her hair and her style, seems to have slimmed down a little. Yeah. And I did say earlier, I still agree. I wanted more at the picnic table. I wanted a little bit more from Mary because like one of her defense mechanisms with Cody and Robin is to do the fake laugh thing. Like, yeah, what are you talking about? Are you trying to
a bunch during that conversation?
Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, a little bit of, are you serious? That's fine. But eventually I want like, no, wait, are you serious? Like I wanted something.
Yeah, because we hear, you read the book and you hear about this like scary Mary, like this Mary who just,
where is she? Show me scary Mary.
If there was ever a moment where we needed her, don't channel your energy towards like 7-year-old kids. Channel your energy towards these assholes.
Yeah, Deborah in the chat is like, oh, she's channeling it all to hating circles. And, it's like, no, let the circles go and channel your hate towards Cody and Robin and get your money back.
Yeah.
Although it is like hilarious that she hates circles.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I never really gave much thought to shapes in that, like,
You don't have a shape you hate, Sarah?
no, like, I definitely I like even numbers. When I'm setting the volume or something, I always set it to an even number. That's kind of just an idiosyncrasy that I have. But yeah, I never really gave much thought to shapes.
Yeah, me neither.
I guess I've just been putting up with circles my whole life, and I've been settling for circles.
Yeah, you just didn't
Maybe
know the horror.
a rectangle. Oh, I think she's just got cranky with out of control kids running through her apartment. That was the other thing too. Like when Cody is saying that Mary didn't want to share her resources, there were some things that I thought Mary had valid reasons to be annoyed. So in the Lehigh house, the way that the Lehigh house was set up was Janelle was on one side and Christine was on the other, and their kids were always going back and forth between the two. And Mary was in the middle, so they had to go through Mary's house. Mary keeps an impeccably tidy home. I mean, I hate to say she only had the one kid because I think that is used to degrade Mary as like lessening her worth, and I hate that. But just in the grand scheme of who you have to clean up after, only having one kid makes a huge difference.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she had the one kid. Christine and Janelle are fighting losing battles every day, trying to keep a tidy home, and Mary just didn't want the chaos.
Yeah, I see both sides of that. Like, I don't think she's evil for like the don't come through my house thing, but I do see like, well, then why are you doing this? Why are you in this whole polygamy situation?
Yeah. What's really sad is that when I watch like these documentaries on these like religious fundamentals, so it's like Mormon fundamentalism, Christian fundamentalism, where producing children is what determines a woman's worth, to see a woman go through like infertility is so heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, it's like it's just another reason in the pile of reasons that we shouldn't be just reducing women to nothing but, giving birth to children.
Yeah.
It's
Also, like, I have a very good friend of mine is childless by choice. Like, she just, like, not for her, not her jam. She wants to be the fun aunt. And, like, but she constantly, because she's, in her late 30s, constantly fielding questions about, when are you going to have kids? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I hate it. I hate it. So there's on the other end of the spectrum too, like there's people that just don't want to have kids, and that should be okay too.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I fielded a lot of them questions myself. So, because we don't
yeah,
have
and then
kids
it's
right
like
now. So.
people who are trying to figure out how they're going to have kids and their or if they're going through a fertility journey. It's like it's kind of like asking someone if they're pregnant. It's like you just don't ask.
Yeah, just don't.
Let them tell you.
Yes. Yeah. Let some things be told and not answered.
Yeah. I'll be on my knees every night. Took me out. Frenchie's wrong. Tab. Same. I think you have to know that we're all gonna hear that a certain way.
Wait, when did she say this?
She said when she was having her breakdown that she's just gonna Robin's just gonna have to get down on her knees about like spend more time on her knees or something like that. And okay,
she has to know.
You're talking about praying, but I mean, come
on, Robin.
There's a little Michael Scott living in all of us that just wants to say, that's what she said.
Yeah.
R says divorce to him, and he died for 2 minutes thinking she may leave him, and he tries to think of a comeback. He knows she's never working but spending money. They are not in love. She is in give me money, no love.
He
You know
did
what's
seem he was like very taken aback by her referencing them not being together.
Yeah, that was I think we've all I mean, you're a comic, Amanda. You could say a joke and maybe it kind of doesn't hit the way you thought it would and like, okay, let's pivot, let's move on, let's get over it. That joke not only didn't land, but it like made a thud. Like Robin thought that that was going to be such a quip. And Cody was like, "You bitch. Like what did you just say?" We were watching the episode this morning and my husband like when it got to that point, my husband was like, "Oh, you know, he just went off when they went home." Like she
You
probably
think he goes off on Robin?
what?
You think Cody goes off on Robin?
I I think that Cody yells a lot. And I don't think that and here's the thing. I think Cody has very complicated feelings about his upbringing. We saw in that the interview he did where he's talking about some of the realizations he's coming to about his religion. I I think that he feels like a lot of this was thrust upon him and it wasn't necessarily something he came to on his own. And I think that he holds a lot of resentment. And with 3 women out of the like they're all Teflon now. He can't hit them with anything. Eventually, it's Robin will be the focus of all of that for him. That's what I think. But
It just I am confused by her being able to shut him up then. I you're probably right. He seems like he's not a very good husband, but I will say like I grew up in the South in a very traditional home
uh-huh.
and my mother would never have told my dad like stop talking, like don't finish, like that just would not have happened in my house, my family.
I think at the end of the day, Cody is a follower through and through. I don't think he has ever had like an original thought in his head. Everything that he comes up with has been planted there by somebody else to let him make him think that he is in charge but he's really not. And I think Robin has like mastered that with him. So she has a very good way of like manipulating Cody into him thinking he has all these great ideas and he is the leader of the family when really it's Robin. And that was so clear in that picnic, well, in the Coyote Pass picnic table conversation.
I'm sorry, Sterling Nash mentioning the WAP.
What? Oh,
Robin's WAP
Ah.
keeping him. Ooh, we've
Well-
taken the live to another level tonight.
Well, I mean, first of all, I was not expecting it to be the finale. And then I'm like, we're halfway through, and I'm like, this is a really good episode. Like, I can't believe there's still 20 minutes left. And then at the end, where it's like, oh, next time on the one-on-one tell-all, I was like, that's why. They just crammed everything together. I think that they decided that they should end the season here and leave like David and Christine and all of that, McKelty giving birth, let that be season 19. And it felt like they just kind of cut things off a little prematurely. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, because I've been complaining like there's a lack of cohesion. I do think their main concern is how many episodes can we squeeze out of these storylines, and so yeah, of course they want to cut it off and get the Gwen's wedding and McKelty's birth and David in the next season and make more money.
Kathy says, "Oh, Amanda, not in my house from the South. If I told my dad to shut up, he would say, 'Did I stutter?' Which I would not say."
Yep. Did I stutter is a favorite for Southern dads.
Robin, I'm not being dramatic. Thanks, Christine. Had me so stinking mad. Cody, I never want to see Janelle again, even though he wanted her all season. This is something that's super, like, I just think shows Cody's lack of maturity. Like, you have 6 kids with each of these women who you are saying you never want to see again. You don't want to be around them. You're actively not going to things like moving Isabel to North Carolina. You're actively not doing that because you don't want to see Christine. Like, grow up.
Yeah. He's such a man child, for lack of a better word. He doesn't care about he doesn't see himself as like, well, I'm the parent. I need to make sure things are right with my children. I think you're right. Like, he sees himself somewhat as like a victim now of, he didn't know what he was getting into when he got into polygamy. And he's just not thinking about like, well, the kids for sure didn't have a say in this, like.
Of all of the people, and like Cody, you think that you were kind of coerced by your parents to like adopt or live this lifestyle. It is exponentially more coercive for the women that
Yes.
they especially Christine and Robin and Mary, they all grew up to some degree in this lifestyle where it was drilled into their heads that your worth is determined by who you marry, how many kids you have, like not
Don't go to college.
Yeah. Not what do you want to be when you grow up? Because what you want to be, because you're a woman, is a mother. That's it.
Yeah, you're so right. As much as he tries to make himself the victim, and he is, I do think that like, you don't stumble into this religion. His mom did it, his dad did it, however he decided to follow. But yeah, for sure, it's not the same as Christine, who, and Mary, who were just so entrenched in this from a young age. Cody he didn't have to. He was over 18 when his mom and dad started doing this. So yeah, I absolutely see a difference between Cody and between the wives who grew up in polygamy, which Robin to me is still like did she? I don't know. It's up for debate.
Yeah, Robin grew up. I mean, people say Robin grew up and her mom was more of like the mistress. I don't know, but that's not for me to say. But yeah, Robin did not grow up where her other mom, at least as far as what has been shared with us, which hasn't been very much, it seems like Robin really just grew up in her household, and her commingling with her dad's other family was like that was his other family, not a extension of my family, which is how Cody really wanted. And to Cody's credit, he very much wanted, and I do believe that just for out of pure laziness, I think he wanted all of his kids in one house so he wouldn't have to go from house to house to house. But that was something that I think was a good goal of Cody's. And this is the hard thing with polygamy is it seems like anything that was good for the kids was detrimental to the wives. Anything that was good for the wives was detrimental to the kids. There was no scenario where everybody was going to be in a healthy family dynamic.
Yeah, because there's too many people, so everyone's got to give something up, and it's always got to be about the how do you do something to the benefit of 18 people? You can't.
No.
There's going to be a few winners at the top, Cody and Robin, aka them, and then there's going to be a lot of losers and some people in the middle maybe. So
someone commented, I forget where I saw this, that polygamy is like the ultimate MLM, that like the OG3 are like the downline, right? And they're doing all the work, and Cody and Robin are like the originators of the MLM, and they're reaping all of the benefits. I was like, that is such a good analogy.
Wow, that is.
Jenny P says, I'm obsessed with the drama and you two are my enablers. Love you both. We love you too.
Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for the super. Also, thanks, shout out to Bakey T for all the early comments on my videos.
Britt Talk says, if/when Robin leaves, I almost feel bad for Cody. There are times I almost feel bad for Cody.
Really? Oh, I can't relate.
And then it's like, and then episode 14 happens where he is just cruel to Mary. For no, like, you have not seen Mary in months. How pissed off at her could you possibly be?
I do think it's because he's always bottling up that she betrayed him with the catfish and he won't ever say it out loud. Oh, she left the covenant first.
I think he uses that as an excuse, but I do agree with Mary that he checked out before the catfish. I think his lack of attention to Mary and her needs is what drove her to seek attention elsewhere. And honestly, I don't blame Mary for that. Like,
No.
The thing is Mary has not taken any kind of accountability, and she really needs to. There is emotional, like an emotional cutoff where it seems like a lot of the brown adults have they just stopped maturing at a certain point. And because some of the things that they do, it's like, right, you're a grown up. Like, that's not how grown up, like, things Cody says, things Cody does, things Mary does, even Christine and Janelle will do and say things where I'm like, but like, you guys are like 50 and you guys have like 30-year-old kids at this point. Like, you guys are grandparents. You got to move past your BS.
Yes. Yes. You would hope. I do think they've all been a little bit, because they had a latent coming out of their religion, although like Janelle hasn't left it at all. So they are stunted. I think they're literally stunted by the way they kind of basically grew up in a cult.
Yeah. Yeah. David says Barfman and Robin are so dramatic. I love all of the nicknames that people come up with.
Yes.
Jacqueline, Robin, Robin, I'm not being dramatic. Thanks, Christine. Had me so singing mad at Cody. I think I highlighted this one already, but it bears repeating. I never want to see Janelle again, even though he wanted her all season. Yeah. What question would you ask at the Ooh, good question, Victoria. Amanda, what would you ask?
Well, the best question of all was asked on that live interview when that caller asked if the kids know about their like dying dad. The second best question I think would be, oh God, that's really tough. Somebody mentioned earlier, like asking about Robin's mansion. I would probably ask, you now admit that Robin is your favorite and she's the only one you want, regardless of the reasoning. Like, why can't you admit that Christine was right? That you did favor Robin and it drove a wedge between the entire family. I would ask something along those lines.
I think I would ask, to Cody, I would ask, what are your regrets when it comes to your kids? Like, how can you, because I think the show allows him to kind of just sidestep a lot of the obvious questions about his relationships with his kids. His kids will sit there on the couch and cry. And he will say, I'm being kept from my kids and I'm blah, blah, blah. Phone goes both ways and da, 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 da. And it's like, well, okay, Cody, show me how many times you've attempted to call and it hasn't gone through because you were blocked. Show me. But they never hold his feet to any kind of hard questions. They always, and what was really frustrating last year during the tell was he was allowed to just say, I'm not answering that.
Yes. Yeah, and I would like to see them hold his feet to the fire in a way where we can actually see them showing him an iPad and say, okay, here's Gabe. He's crying because you forgot his birthday. And here's a scene of you demanding that Janelle kick them out. And now here's you saying that she came between you and the boys. I would love for them to have this like very simple clips, have him watch and be like, look, you're contradicting yourself. Or even just like, say something about that. Say something about Gabe crying, saying you missed his birthday. What is he going to say?
Yeah. Let's do a couple more. Wanderlust, thank you so much. Loved Mary, but she needs to grow a pair and fight for her due on Coyote Pass. Also, Amanda, are you going to open memberships? I'll be joining when/if you do. Much love to you both.
Thank you, Wanderlust. I am definitely open to that. I am just working on getting all of my ducks in a row and slowly, like, I don't have the moving boxes back here anymore. I'm like slowly getting closer to having everything in my office. So thank you so much for asking. That is in the works in the future.
Awesome. When Kay said to Mary, let's stay where we are now, I would have said, where are we now, Crody? Tell me, where are we now? Yeah, that is an point. Like, where are we? What are we? Let's define our relationship.
He'd be like, well, we're in a place right now where you are still contributing money to me and Robin, and we'd like that to continue.
Yeah, and we're friends.
Yeah,
But
such great friends.
I talk to my friends, and you don't talk to Mary, Cody. So what are you talking about? This is a good point. Cody, so we see him tell Janelle, tell the world. But when it came to Mary saying, like, maybe if we're not going to be together ever and there's no hope or whatever, maybe we should like tell people since we're like kind of living our life on TV. And Cody didn't want to.
He's still faking it. All these we know the truth. We know they were never this perfect family they tried to present to us. And yet he's still trying to get them to fake it to save his reputation, which is unsavable. The only way to save it is to lean into the villainy, admit all the things he lies about.
Is this Becky or Backy T?
I don't know. I said Bakey.
Bakey. Sorry.
No, I don't know if it is Bakey. I'm not sure.
How's it going? How are you doing? Do you remember my comments by any chance? Those when you just started your videos on Sister Wives? Anyways, appreciate you tons.
Thank you, Bakey. I do.
That's awesome. I can speak for when, by the way, Amanda, I just saw that you crossed 20,000 subscribers. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who's subscribed, who's watching this. I can't tell you how much I'm excited.
You'll never like the people that were there when I had like 50 subscribers. You never forget those people for sure. Yes. So Bakey, that's always, and every single person just means a lot for sure. All right. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, I need to go take a walk though. So
what? And yeah.
I need to go talk about how my fantasy, my Sister Wives porch fantasy. I'm never gonna
get it. Oh my gosh. It's too much. It was too much. It was so much. There's so much to talk about. I, for one, cannot wait to see what you come up with on Saturday. It's gonna be so good.
Honestly, I already am like chomping at the bit. I'm just like, I cannot believe everything that went down with Robin. Just, yeah, I'm excited for the next video.
Such a memeable episode. Is so many jokes. So many jokes.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you, Amanda. I will see you guys in the next video. And in the pinned comment, there is a link to Amanda's channel. If you haven't yet, go subscribe over there. And have a good night, everyone.
Yes, have a good night. Thank you so much, Sarah, for inviting me. You're awesome.